Hey guys, this is OddOneGaming. This is going to be another Dragonheir Selling Gods video. In today's video, I want to show you the two teams that I did for week 1 of the Imperial Shadow recast on the Continental Challenge, and both of these are over 200 million teams. So I already made specific videos on the teams, deep diving into them, so if you want, you can go check them out. I'm going to try and pin them, try to remember to pin them at the end of this one. If not, just scroll through my YouTube channel, just scroll a bit down and you should find them. But I really wanted to share, how it looks at the end of the week, what teams I used, a little bit of a quick dive on the, on the teams, and then maybe some ideas of what I'm going to try to focus on the week, the next week, as we're going to be unlocking 2 more. So let's check it out. So yeah, the reason why I actually wanted to do this is because, well, the time of the recording is 1 day and 20 hours left. There was not going to be too much more improvement that I could have done, considering the fact that I already hit 200 million on both my teams. So I already saved them, right? So I said, you know what, let me show the teams just in case people missed it, just in case, people maybe didn't get the time and they want to see like, okay, what did OddOne's team look like? Honestly, from my point of view, the teams that I personally used to do the damage that you see over here are the 2 easiest ones, the most accessible ones, or pretty much the ones that most people should have or should try to have. Because the ones that I did were the Vinara boss, where I used my wild team, which honestly, that's what I've been saying, that's what everybody should be saying, is for the sake of season 1, just save to get yourself a Flora. Even without the exclusive artifact, Flora is going to easily get you to be able to hit 200 million on this boss. So that's why I'm saying, from my point of view, this is going to be the easiest one to do. Because again, just with Flora and 3 other wild ones, doesn't matter if you have there, but Flora plus 3 wilds should easily get you 200 million over here. Also, you can use a support of Brody, right? That's what I personally used. Unless you have Chrysos, which is number 1 for this, then you're going to be using Brody. So let me show you exactly the team that I'm talking about. You can see over here 250 million damage. Obviously, I don't have lots. I just have like a couple of inspired ones. That's about it. But you might see people do 300, 400 million. That's extremely hard to do because after you hit 200 million, the damage that you do drops by 90%. So you only do like 10% of the whole damage that you would normally do, because that's the way it's time to kind of be capped. But like I mentioned, this is pretty much the team that I used. And Brody was kind of like, from my point of view, for my team, he was the MVP, right? I also have like, I made a video on this team. I have a short talking about Brody, but he's really powerful for this fight because he gets a shield when the boss gets a shield. Then on the ultimate, he does remove a shield as well. Also, he can place attack penalty on the battle skill. It's not 100%, but you know what? Can be helpful. However, passive and ultimate are kind of the important ones. You can see I built him in the Radiance of the Blue Oak. Also, I gave him this one because, well, he's going to land at attack penalty from time to time, helps him heal himself, and then Aurelian Wells is going to be really good. Then, obviously, the wild ones was Felicity with the Witch's Remains, and then 3 years Brotherhood, the Brotherhood Spirit, sorry, to get us as much damage. You can also see, you can pause and see the talents of all of them over here, but that's what I had on Felicity. I already showed the timings. Erich was in Dawn Organ Pipe, and obviously with the Puppeteer set. Then we have Flora, which obviously as much mythic as I can, plus I did have her exclusive, but if you don't have her exclusive artifact, you can always go with the Queen's Fan. If you don't have either, if you don't have that one either, just go with whatever artifact increases your derivative damage, because that's where most of her damage comes from. You're gonna see obviously focus most on proficiency, attack percent, and all that. Then Casper, full out damage, and then I did get him a wild exclusive artifact. If you don't have this, again, just go with your next best artifact. So that's pretty much the team that I did 250 million with. Now, the second one, as you can see, is the Vasska one. This is the one that I'm honestly personally really proud of, because it pretty much has 4 free-to-obtain heroes. And my mind was blown by the fact that, again, a epic that might not be the best or might not be the used, you're not going to see them in a ton of other teams or ton of other areas, but he shines over here, and that one was Vedimir, right? Vedimir was the king of this fight. He did like 80% of the damage, right? He just did obscenity. Again, I do have a video on this team. where I showed the full builds, where I showed the timings, I showed everything. So, you know, I'm not going to deep dive into everything, just going to show you quickly the builds. But as you can see, I hit 200 mil, right? I mean, Thorin free, Fitz is a rare, which you should get for free. Vedemir can buy from the shops, Tias for free. The only one that, like, you know, I pulled was Losenia, that has, you know, that's kind of like, she's a bit better than Rava. If you don't have Losenia and you have Rava, you might not do exactly 200 mil, but you should easily do at least 150 mil, because this team works just fine, and Vedemir is a monster. Now, I did get a comment on my YouTube video when I showed this team, somebody suggesting something on Fitz. There's a artifact that can reflect the attack down that the boss puts on us. He can reflect that back. I'm gonna try that for next week. Now I couldn't try it anymore because, you know what, I already used the attempts, but I'm gonna try that artifact, and by doing that, it's gonna allow me to bring another damage dealer instead of Thea. That's what they said based on their testing. So keep an eye out, I guess, after the reset, because I'm gonna look at this, and if that's gonna be the case, I might be able to make this even more free-to-play friendly. Obviously, that artifact that I'm gonna talk about is gonna be an exclusive, not exclusive, a mythic artifact. So it's gonna be tricky, but what I will be testing is I'm gonna drop Losenia, I'm gonna drop Thea, and then I'm gonna try and bring Rava and maybe Rowena, something like that, to just have all free to obtain heroes. Even though, you know, Thea's free, wanna maybe save her for a different fight. But the way that I had these ones built, Thorin was in the Solar King's Horn, then in the Puppeteer set, so that he can boost his ultimate energy, the ultimate energy of Fitz and Thea, so they can get on that 18-second rotation. Obviously, mostly focus him on Enlightenment and HP. Next one was Losenia. She's definitely going to be Witch's Remains Wearer, because she has a 6-hitter on the ultimate. That's really good. Again, remember, you can pause and you can check the talents tab at the bottom. She's again in a Puppeteer set, so that she boosts her and Vedemir's ultimate energy, so that Vedemir especially goes more often, because she brings some damage, but Vedemir's the key of this fight, and you want him to go as often as possible to do as much damage as possible. Then if you look at Fitz, Fitz is just amazing, because with this one he can pretty much transfer all of that attack down that the boss puts from all of your allies to himself, which is pretty awesome. I'm not sure if that's bugged or not, but I love it. I hope it's not bugged, and I hope that this just makes it be like working as intended, because that way Fitz is gonna, you know, he's gonna have a role. He's gonna be amazing for this fight. He's obviously gonna be running Ancestral Protection, because all you need on him is HP and defense in this specific build. In the other one that I'm gonna test next week, you're gonna want some resist, but we're gonna talk that at another time. I also gave him this one so that he can dispel the attack down from himself, even though it doesn't really matter, honestly, because he's not gonna be doing damage. He's just there to tank. And the best artifact for him would be Drago's Blast Jar, because he's gonna get hit, which is gonna make the boss do less damage. So this is kind of like the best build for him. Then Vedemir, he has the Ring of Winter. I kind of like, you know, I got it, so I put it. If you don't have this, just put whichever's your best damage artifact on him, right? He's pretty much in the Mythic Pieces gear that gives him the most damage. Obviously, gave him as much attack and crit damage as I could. Being an epic, doesn't have that high base attack, so you know what? It still worked. Still worked because of the fact that you're gonna see I'm gonna give him more attack with Thea, with the build that I have on her. But, you know, attack percent, crit damage, and all of that cool stuff. Again, you can see the talents that I went with at the bottom. And then if you look at Thea, Thea is in a bit of a quirky use. Thea is in this fight only to land that healing prohibition. Again, maybe do a little bit of healing from her, what's it called, battle skill. That can help us a bit, but it's mostly the healing prohibition so that the boss does less damage, right? It also helps a little bit at the invisibility, of course, you know, to not be targeted by the minions, but it's mostly about this one, right? Healing prohibition, some healing, and that makes her the queen. She's also going to be in Brotherhood Spirit to give us more damage, but then I try to focus full attack, but we have enough accuracy to land the debuff. And then I gave her down Organ Pipe so that I can give more attack to Vedemir and to Losenia, and obviously herself and what's his name, Thorin. But pretty much it's just the attack and then accuracy to make sure that I land the debuff. And that's pretty much, you know, both of my teams. And honestly, so far, I'm really happy considering the Krakkens that I have on my server, right? It's one of the Reborn servers. I do have, you know, lots of heroes from previously. I did have a little bit of spending in the past, but I'm nowhere near the Kraken level. Not even a dolphin. I'm just a baby fish, right? Just a baby fish. I just spent like $10, I think, since the game came back, and that's it. But considering the fact that I'm 20th, I'm really happy, right? I'm really happy to be 20th. However, I don't think I'm going to stick here. There's still 2 days to go. I expect to be somewhere in maybe top 100. If I hit top 100, I'm gonna be happy with myself. If I'm gonna be top 50, I'm gonna be surprised and obviously extra happy. But if I hit top 100, I'm gonna be, I'm gonna be happy, and that's gonna be a good point considering my account. But yeah, these are the teams. That's my damage. Let me know in the comments down below, what teams did you use this week? Where are you in the ranking on your server? Because I'm curious to see how everybody does. And yeah, I guess we're gonna leave it at this for now. Thank you for watching. As always, if you do enjoy my content, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel to see when I upload next. Also, don't forget to use that code to support me as a content creator, right? OddOne, capitals for both the O's. Costs you nothing. It can help me out. You get some free stuff as well when you do it. And yeah, I'm gonna see you on the next one. Peace, love, take care, everyone. Bye, guys.